It's always sunny down in Mexico. The sun gets high when I get low. The only way to get there is to let yourself go. Good times are made in Mexico.
This first question, I thought it was a fun one because I actually haven't seen it or heard of it. Someone asked, did anyone do a late night snack? Is this an option? Are there late night food options at the resort aside from room service? My brain instantly went to local weddings, thinking about like pizza at midnight or like McDonald's at 11 o'clock. And I was like, oh, I don't think I've seen that at a destination wedding. Have you?
Yeah, I have. It's definitely an option, but it's an option. It's just an added cost option that I really feel like a lot of people they take out right away, especially when you're at an all-inclusive. There's some places you can still go get food. So a lot of couples just don't do that in destination weddings. I'm a big fan of it, and particularly, I mean, you need some of that pizza or something to soak up that alcohol, right? Like, so I think it's a great idea. I'd love to see it more often. I just think it's something that gets cut a lot of times by our couples.
I also thought this one comment from a bride, she said that they did do it. They had pizza and cheeseburgers, but she said, I honestly don't even remember them, and only a few guests even saw them because we were on the dance floor.
Goes into play, like, what time are you going to serve them?
Right.
Because I think later in the night, the better, maybe a half hour before the end of the event.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour before the end of the event or half hour before the end of the event, because if they do continue to serve those even after the strike time, when they start pulling everything down, I think let's say if your event ends at 11, maybe you can ask them, hey, can you serve those? Can you have the late night snacks out until 11:30? Yeah, that's interesting though. I definitely see it a lot more industry events, not necessarily at weddings. I just think it's the cost factor that I think a lot of couples cut out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if budget were a factor, I definitely wouldn't do it, but it would be a nice little touch to just like not have to go back to your room, wait for room service. I feel like that'd be a nice little touch for the end of the night.
You know what I haven't seen at destination weddings, though, which I'd really like to see? Everybody does a wedding cake, right? Like that's pretty traditional, but like I've seen at local weddings be like a dessert like truck. They'll come in and just do ice cream or just do cannoli or just do churros or something like that, and they just make them right there, and it's just something different besides the cake, because I'm not a cake person.
Yeah, me either. And I was gonna say, I feel like I see that churro vendor a ton all over social media at destination weddings. And I feel like if I were to do a wedding, like why would I not do churros?
Right. If I were getting married today, I wouldn't do a cake at all.
I wouldn't do a cake. I'm not even like a huge sweets person as is, so.
Yeah, I'd do a dessert bar.
Same.
Something unique, like just the churro cards or the cannoli.
There's a bride asked, she said, for those who are already married, did you plan an activity or excursion the day after your wedding, or did you just relax? Would you recommend doing something, or is it better to keep it low key? We're debating if it's worth the extra stress and coordination.
Well, my first question would be, what extra stress and coordination? Because your travel agent should be able to handle this for you and ask all your guests what they want to do. Present the payment options if they want to pay for it, or if the couple wants to pay for it, but your travel agent should be able to handle coordinating everything. So it shouldn't really be a lot of extra stress.
Maybe more so she just meant like the stress of like getting all of her people together and planning it and seeing if people want to do it and getting a head count and stuff like that.
But I'm saying, why can't the agent take care of that when we can modify our booking for them to ask that question when they make their reservation?
That is true. But then they would also have to know that when they're signing their contract.
Yeah. Could be something they add on later, but it depends on where they are in the process, for sure. Or the agent has everybody's contact as well and could coordinate an email.
I've definitely done that before, where like I've had a group set up like an excursion or something, and like they had to fill out a waiver, and like I've had the couple just send me the waiver, and they're like, can you send this out to everyone? And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, I'd say get your agent involved to help reduce stress. That's what agents are there for. And then as far as what to do, so I've had couples do everything. Like a really popular thing has just been like a brunch the day after.
Like at the resort?
It's a semi-private event, and so they usually host them in whatever restaurant, like the main restaurant for breakfast is at the resort. And it's, they just have a little separate area. They set up a couple nice little displays. Food displays, like those type of things, and it's a nice little separate brunch area. It's just for that group. That's a kind of an easy way to do things, and it's not crazy expensive because it's just a semi-private reservation basically at the resort. But that's a good way to start the day. But excursion wise, Catamaran's number one. I mean, everybody wants to go on a boat. Well, not everybody wants to go on a boat, but a lot of people want to go on a boat. I think the biggest thing for the brides, though, is from the stress factor. It shouldn't be stressful. That is literally your travel agent's job.
Yeah, I agree. But also, I guess another like part of her question was, do you plan something or do you just hang out at the resort?
Yeah, you know, a lot of couples, there's no need to plan something. You don't
Yeah.
have to. If you don't want to spend the money, there's no expectation from the guests that we're going to be doing something next day.
Right.
So yeah, hanging out with the resort. Here's tip number one. Don't just say we're just going to be hanging out at the resort. Tell them specifically where you're going to be hanging out.
Yeah.
If you're at a resort with multiple
Usually,
pools, we're going to
like,
be hanging out at this pool.
just having like a dedicated spot, I feel like you could make a whole day out of it.
Yeah. You got to be careful on the cabanas, though, because the cabanas, you know, the resorts always try to be like, well, you know, it's this many people max. And, you know, let's be real. We're not hanging out in the cabana the whole time. We're going there to eat and then, you know, use as a home base. And then we're in the pool the whole time.
I feel like in many cabana situations with large groups where it's never been an issue of how many people are there.
Yeah, it usually isn't, but sometimes when you're reserving them, they can set rules. Like the cabana is only for 4 people max, and it's like you show up and it's like, okay, well, 25 people are here.
Yeah.
What are they going to do at that point?
Right.
Like, you know, so as long as the people that are paying for the cabana are cool with it, it's usually not a problem. As long as you're not interrupting and disturbing other guests, that's where they usually draw the line.
Yeah. I guess so if it were you, what would you do? Do you like just hang out at the resort or would you go do an excursion?
Money's no object.
Money's no object.
Money's no object. I'm paying for a catamaran and going out for a sunset catamaran cruise the next night.
That would be beautiful. I think you just convinced me that would be my pick too.
So,
Because I didn't even like think to consider a sunset one because I was more so thinking of like what you're going to be doing during the day. But I feel like the perfect day would just be like being able to hang out at the resort all day, like recoup after wedding day, give yourself some time, and then go on a catamaran at night.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That way you have enough time to recover as well. You're not like, oh, I've got it. Because you know, a lot of the catamaran stuff, you know, they usually either have morning or afternoons.
Yeah.
So if it's morning, well, that's out. Nobody's getting up at 8 a.m. to go on a catamaran the day after a wedding, right? But the other one usually starts at like 1. And, you know, for most of the catamaran companies, they do 2 days. And the 1 o'clock sailings are, you know, okay, well, how far away is it from your resort? You might still have to be picked up at like 11.
Yeah.
So you had enough time to get breakfast, didn't have enough time to actually go out and start enjoying the pool and that kind of stuff. And then you got to go to the catamaran. So it kind of takes your whole day away from you. You get pool time, you still get to go out the catamaran for the evening. A lot of the catamaran evening stuff do dinner as well. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect. Well, hopefully people are listening to that advice because that is the
Absolutely.
perfect itinerary.
Sunny down in Mexico, the sun gets high.